And we should be good. Okay. Welcome back. PowerWash Sim, we are going to be cleaning the solar system exhibit. So, if you missed it earlier, we cleaned a roller coaster. Now we are cleaning the solar system exhibit, which this is actually not as intricate as I was expecting, honestly. But, Venus. Is this supposed to be Earth? Yeah, I would say I think this is Earth. It's like it's showing the inside, so I'm guessing it's supposed to be that. Alright. Oh. Again, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. Hopefully you had a good time with Pokemon Snap. We will be back with more retro games in a couple of days. Is it super dirty? It is. It is. That is the conceit of this game. These places are definitely very neglected and disgusting. And our job is to use our power washing skills to bring them back to life. Thanks for sharing. It brings back memories. Well, that's part of the point of why I play retro games, is to bring back memories. Part of the reason for that series, actually most of the reason for that series, I've talked about, is kind of a thank you letter to my friends for their support over the years. Well, I've been doing this streaming thing for, as of this month, 5 years. I've been affiliated and streaming full-time for 5 years as of this month. So, as a thank you to my friends and just everybody in general, I asked my friends what their favorite PS2 era or before game was, and they gave me a list. We got a list of 10 games. We're now down to 4. And those were the games that you saw listed on the screen. And we are playing them on original hardware. Like I said, unfortunately, Pokemon Snap is the first one we couldn't do on original hardware due to my cartridge being kaput. But we bounced back. We completed it in 2 hours, which hopefully it's not disappointing to my friend. I hope they still enjoyed the playthrough nonetheless. Yeah. But I do appreciate them, and I appreciate all the support from everybody, from my stream team, from my community, from the members of my family that do support me, and I hope to keep doing this for as long as possible. Unfortunately, we can't really we can't really determine ourselves how long that might be. Life has a way of determining that for us. So I will do my best to prolong that period to the best of my ability, but life will give me that decision as it sees fit, But I try to do things. I've talked about it on many occasions. I try to do things to show how much I appreciate people, because there was a and I've mentioned this before. There was a TED talk that I saw when I was in college, um, and I still need to find it. I think that's something I want to do this year, is try to find that TED talk again so I can give people a link to that. I might actually make a command for it at this point. But there was a TED talk I watched. Thank you for the congrats on 5 years, by the way. Um, and it was something about lollipops. I don't remember the full speech, but there was a part of the speech that really kind of sat with me. Um, and he was talking about gratitude, essentially, and he asked people in the crowd. Um, he's like, how many people have had their life positively impacted by someone, right? And like 85% of the crowd, 90% of the crowd raised their hand, right? As you would expect. Because a lot of people have been positively impacted by people, right? And then he's like, okay, keep your hand up if you've told them, right? And you would think, okay, this should be pretty high, right? Most people put their hand down. And then his follow-up question is like, why do we do that? Right? Why do we let people impact us positively and then not tell them? Right? Why do we do that? And that was part of what the TED Talk was about. And that kind of set with me for the many years since I've been out of college. And since then, I've always tried to make sure that, and I'm still not the greatest at it. I still forget from time to time because I'm human. We all are. But I try to remember to show gratitude to people when they've, positively impacted my life. And like when it came to the friend's favorite retro thing, no one asked me to do that, right? That wasn't a request. No one was holding me to that. No one, there's no monetary benefit to that, or anything, right? The games that I've played haven't garnered me any sponsorship or advertising, revenue or anything like that. Right. It was just something that I decided to do as a show of gratitude for my friends. So, not that this is some sort of like I need a pat on the back or anything, because I people take that as like, oh, you want someone to recognize you. No, that's not what this is about. I'm just saying, like, I want people to know that there was no benefit to me doing this series, that we're doing, other than just to show gratitude. And I think it's important. And part of the reason why I wanted to do it publicly and not just, just be like, thank you for being my friend and supporting me, and then that be it, is because I'm hoping that other people see that and remember to be thankful to the people that helped them, right? Whether that's, doing something similar, right? Doing their own series, or just telling the people thank you, or having those conversations with them about, being grateful. Because again, we're human, we forget those things. It's sometimes we forget to have it in our nature to be grateful for those things, right? Enjoy your time here, and your streams are positive impact. Not saying I just love your streams, promote kindness, and also bring up nostalgia. Well, I appreciate that. I know I've had a battle. I still battle with the demons of the idea that I am I am not what is expected of today's streamers. I've discovered that I would have been a great streamer 15 years ago. What Twitch is now and how I stream would have lined up perfectly back then. Now, not so much. And the more I come to grips with that, the more okay with it I am. Because I realized that in that realization, I realized that I am a good streamer. I'm just not what today expects me to be. Right? And that doesn't mean like I've stopped trying to improve, you know. I still check my streams to see, you know, like, can I improve my audio? Can I improve my video? You know, is there something I can do? Like, just within this last stream, I've changed something. This right here, this chatting screen. I noticed, I went back to old videos, and I noticed that, like, having that frame around me, because I used to have this, right? I had this around me when I was chatting for the past, like, few months, right? But I noticed I actually really liked it when it was like this. And the reason why I liked it is because I noticed, like, when I have my green screen, the frame around me, all it does is feels like it boxes me in. But why do I need a box around me? Because I don't have anything to kind of box in, right? I don't have a background behind me. There's no scene to box in, right? So, like, I just feel like it just works better like this. And I just doing this today, because it's literally a change I made today. I feel like that's an improvement, right? Now, people might disagree with that. They might be like, "No, actually, I like it with the frame." But, you know, and that's something I can consider over time, and I can always change it again. And to be honest, I probably will change it again at some point. But like, you know, it's improvement. You know, happens over time, and realizing, you know, what can I improve? What can I look at? And what is within my power to to do so. Okay, we need to make sure we clean top of this off. Because it's very easy to let things that you can't improve try to, like, come into your mind. And that's a dangerous, you know, that's a dangerous thing to let happen. It's easy to let happen, too. So it's one of those mentalities you have to battle as well as a person, let alone a content creator. Okay. So, important to keep improving. I feel like every day I learn something that everyone else knows for ages. I mean, but that's the thing, right? Like, you can't know everything, and like, it's just a physical impossibility to know everything. Oh, we learned that this side method might be better to. Okay, now in this case, it doesn't seem like it's any better. But it's also, you know, fine to be okay with the knowledge that you don't know things, right? We were actually talking about this earlier today, about the idea that, like, it's okay to not know stuff as long as you just don't stay ignorant of those things, right? Be like, okay, I don't know this. Let me learn, right? Let me figure this out. Let me try to get better at this thing. Why am I stuck under Saturn? Silly Saturn. Right. Because there's a lot of stuff to learn, right? Like, there's a lot of things. Science, math, English, history, you know. There's a lot a lot of world out there. Ironic given that we're standing in a, you know, solar system room right now. Also important to act like not to act like you yeah. Yeah. Act like you know everything when when you in fact do not know everything. Yes. Yes, I think we've probably run into many people like that throughout our lives that think simply because they have some knowledge that they have all knowledge. I have run into many a people that have fallen prey to that mentality, unfortunately. They think because they are a specialist in one field, that makes them a specialist in all fields. Which really makes them very upset when the specialist from a different field is like, okay, what's this thing? And they're like, well, that doesn't matter. And it's like, but you said you knew the thing. And they're like, well, it doesn't matter. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's just you don't know it. Which is fine, because you're not a specialist in that field, so you wouldn't know that. But, see, for me, I always take, like, not being knowledgeable things as a like chance to learn. I'm always like, ooh, that's something new. Like, I've never taken I'm wrong. Well, I can't say never. I can't say never, because there's definitely been times where I'm like, I'm wrong. That's not cool. But usually when I find out I'm wrong, I want to learn the right thing. Right? I want to know the right thing, so that way I can learn something new. Right? But unfortunately, not everybody thinks like that. And like I said, we talked about this a little bit this morning. Part of that is because of societal standards of, if you're wrong, then, you know, you're shunned. You're going to be looked down upon. When it should just be, hey, you don't know this thing? Let's talk about it. Let's get onto equal footing, or at least try to discuss this in a way that we can start reaching an understanding. But that is unfortunately not how it works in most cases. If only everyone thought like that. You would be surprised the amount of times I have heard that in my life. I mean, you might not be surprised, but I have heard that exact phrase a great many times. For as terrible as parts of my life have been, I still try to find the good way to approach things, the kind way to approach things, at least at first. Unfortunately, people will try to take advantage of that. But then they find out the difference between kindness and complacency. And I do not suffer complacency, which many people have found out the hard way. There's that phrase, do not mistake kindness for weakness. So And it's sad the amount of people that do just that. People are unfortunately very very capable of kindness. However, they often choose cruelty. And it's something that I've had to explain to many people. Because many people do not understand. They're like, why is that the case? And fortunately there's many reasons, but costs $0 to be kind. Yeah. Unfortunately, it also costs $0 to be cruel. And that is the decision that some people decide to make. Two sides of the same coin. Unfortunately, some people don't decide to flip the coin, they just put it on the table. But we can only control our actions and reactions to those people. That is something that I've had to listen to through, you know, years of therapy, but also have had to tell people over the years, because a lot of people ask, like, well, what am I supposed to do? It's like, well, the only thing you can do, which is control yourself, your decisions, your actions, your world. You cannot control what they do, but you can control what you do, which sometimes does result in making hard decisions about who you spend your time with and how you spend that time. Like I said, we talked a little bit about this earlier. I have a lot about this earlier, I guess. Use your energy in useful ways. Yeah. Yep. Yep. It's interesting how PowerWash Simulator gets us on this conversation. So like I said, we were actually talking about this earlier during this exact game. How are we doing? Oh, we still got quite a bit of room left. On the upside, we're doing the thing that's basically the most, because the floor is not even it's in the air, I guess. Well, there might be reasons for that. But, yeah. Yeah. This light is dirty on this side. Go. My opinion, we can all make change. Yes. Yes, we all have the propensity for change. Even small change and big change. I think one of the lines, I think it was in a movie, probably multiple movies at this point, but also in literature. The Wall's Beautiful, yeah, the kind of starry astrological kind of thing. But there's the talk about like changing the world, and I think I've heard it from a lot of different sources, but like people always like oh, we'll never change the world, you can never change the world, blah blah blah, right? But people forget that, like, and again, I've heard this in stories and books and stuff, like you can change your world, right? Or you can change someone else's world, right? By being a positive influence on their world and your world. Like, sure, you might not change the world at large, but you can change your world and someone else's world. And that is changing the world, right? Because, I talk about it, I've talked about it on stream before, how, we have, I mean, we were just talking about how you have impact on people, right? And it might seem like, it's like, oh, that wasn't that big of a deal, right? Like, it was just a small impact. All I did was, like, get them lunch, or, I sent them a gift, or, I just said thank you, or, whatever, right? Like, the thing you think is really small could legitimately have brightened someone's day or made someone's day better, right? I've talked about what I call the mission statement of this channel, and I've mentioned how the mission statement of this channel has never changed. And the mission statement of this channel has stayed the same in that it's always been about making someone's day better, right? As long as I've made someone's day just a little bit better, I've succeeded. It doesn't mean, it doesn't matter if I've made $1 million, if I've got 1,000 subs, a bajillion follows, all of that's irrelevant. As long as I've made someone's day a little bit better, I've succeeded, And that's how I look at it. Because that way I'm not worried about numbers, I'm not worried about follower counts, I'm not worried about how long I'm streaming for. If I'm having a bad day, an off day, I can still hit that goal because I can still make someone's day better, right? And that to me is the most important thing. So, and I mean, there's a bunch of quotes about it. I have quotes written in my phone, and there's of course the where's it at? The Robin Williams quote that I've quoted multiple times. I don't know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know that I've made a few people happier than they would have been without me, and as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I'll ever need to be. Right? It's as simple as that, right? I've made other people's lives better, and if for some reason, that's that's it, that's all I've got, that's fine with me. Right. Like, don't get me wrong. I am not so blind as to know that, like, to be like, oh, yeah, sure, I'm going to turn down $1 million if someone tries to pay me because because I don't care about money. Like, obviously I'm not that kind of person. Money can also do good, right? But barring, given that that is not my current situation, I will obviously just stick with what I can do, right? Now, if I get to the point where I can do both, I can both help people and make a bunch of money that can help people, I will do both, right? I will raise a bunch of money that can help people, and I will continue to do things to help people, through money and through kindness. You can do both. Plenty of people have done it. Plenty of people consistently do it. Plenty of people consistently don't do it too, but that's a whole different conversation. But because I've talked to multiple people about it, and people are always like, "What would you do if you had $100 million?" And like I've talked about, like, of course there's some things that I would like to like get myself, but like nothing extravagant. Like, but I realize most of my first thoughts are like helping other people. Like, I would like to pay off like friends and family's debts, so that way they could live more comfortably. Right? That's what I think of first when it comes to getting lots of money, is making the people around me safer and more comfortable. Like, I don't think of buying Lamborghinis and fancy suits and watches and all of that. I don't care about that stuff. I probably will never care about that stuff. Like, one, because of a lot of medical reasons. Like, I can't even drive, so like a fancy car doesn't do anything for me. But but like but like it's just one of those things that, like, I don't really see any like gain from focusing on all of those material things when, there's a non-zero chance that I get all that money, and then a few years later I could get mangled in a horrible accident and not be able to do anything with all of the material things I get. Like, what is that? What do those things do for me at that point, right? It's like, cool, I have a fancy car, a fancy house, and now I can't use any of that. Or worse yet, I'm gone, right? But if I help people pay off their debts and they get to live comfortably, one, after I'm gone, that is something they can continue to do, and two, like, I've genuinely made people's lives better. That's something that stays long after I'm gone. That's another reason why I help people. Whether that's through creating content or just in my daily life. Or at least try my best to do in my daily life, is because, like, that's the stuff that sticks around, not the Maseratis, not the Chanel and name brands. And I mean, sure, that stuff will be somewhere, but who knows where after you're gone. But the memories that you create, with your friends, your family, the happy memories, the positive impact, that's what sticks around. The people in your communities, your stream teams, your local communities. That's the stuff that sticks around. The charities, the You know, that's that's the important stuff, not the Maseratis. And but again, people can spend their money on whatever they want. I don't not going to judge people for that. You know, if they want to go buy 17 cars and they have the money to do that, and it's not hurting themselves or someone else, do that. Buy 17 cars. It's your money. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to tell people what one way or the other. Go to Japan. Overall, would help others as well. It's more important. I want to do well and see others struggle. Yeah. You know, I don't. Also, I don't know if people still buy Maseratis. I don't know if that's a big brand anymore. I'm guessing it is. As far as I know, Maserati is still a fancy car brand. I don't know. Again, it's not a thing I look at. But you also got to do what brings you happiness as well, because you don't know how much time you have on this earth. So, to be honest, you don't know car types at all. I mean, that's the case for a lot of people. Honestly, it's not. Again, we were talking about that, like that knowledge that you know you either have or you learn, kind of thing. Car brands is definitely one of those. Most people don't know brands other than like the cars they drive or the cars around them that like family drives or friends drive. So I definitely understand that. Okay, we only got 2 more walls to do, and then I think we'll probably do the roof next. Basically, we'll do the roof, and then we'll do all the exhibits, and then we'll finish with the floor. But I think I shouldn't get started and describe a car the way, but directions, it's important. Glaze over. Yeah. Yeah. Like honestly, it probably when you're getting that kind of knowledge, it's probably more useful just to know the type of car. Like, oh, this is a like hatchback, this is an SUV, this is a coupe, this is a sports car, like that kind of stuff, than trying to remember every like make and model. To be honest, because like in most cases, knowing something is like, oh, this was a black SUV, you know, is more knowledge, more useful. Know that for the most part, yeah. Like that's probably more helpful than being like, yeah, it's a black sports car, and then it's like a SUV or something. Which usually, if you've been around cars or purchased a car before, you know that kind of stuff. But some people don't. Some people don't. Which again, that goes along the lines of like learning stuff about the world around you. Do we have like ladders or something for this? How are we supposed to get up to the roof? Oh, I guess we're supposed to... Oh, they actually want us to do some platforming, I guess? Jump up there to get up there. That's kind of crazy to think about. Usually they give us, like, ladders or, like, a scissor lift or something to get up to high places, even on interiors. But it doesn't look like they give us anything if we're in here. It's all parkour, yep. Well, technically, I think if I... Yeah, if I use our super extended thing, we can kind of clean it. But... it would just take a little while. And I ain't trying to be in this observatory for another... I guess not an observatory, but this building for another 3 hours trying to clean this display. PowerWash and the currency code just not working as well. Oh, this is like the pro thing. Like if we were using this is how it normally works. It's awful. What you'd have to do normally is you have to use the soap. You have to like lather it up. Once you use the soap, then you can clean it off. Like that. But we have the pro sprayer, and the pro sprayer basically just disintegrates the stuff. So yeah, the triple pro is like literally there's only one other gun other than this, and instead of 2 sprayers it has a rotating or 3 sprayers, it has a rotating 2 sprayers. So yeah, no, we worked really hard to get to this thing. So okay. I've been alert for a bit. Alright. Enjoy your food. What is this? Oh, it's a spaceship. Okay. Alright. So we need to go closer to the roof. Oh, there's a gnome up here. Hello, gnome friend. Boop. Okay. I'm basically going to use this line here as our designation for where the edge is. I guess I could move, but let's just do this part and then we'll move over to where we can get the rest of the... This dome is a little weird shape. It's like got an optical illusion. Looks like we're closer to it than we are, I think. Yeah, it's definitely further up because you can see like where our hose is actually hitting it. Okay. Alright. Get this dome done. Actually, it's not taking as long as I thought. But the dome was going to be bigger, but again, I think it's just an optic illusion. There we go. All right. It looks like we got constellations. So let's see. Guess we'll just start with, what is this, Gemini? Yep, Gemini. I do not know all the constellations by name, I have to admit. I just knew, when I saw two people, I knew it was Gemini. That's... Oh, they're actually much further away than I was expecting them to be. Again, it's kind of like an optical illusion. Because of the dome shape, things are pretty far away. No, I didn't look in the center. Were there? There are ladders in the center. I'm just a dingus. I was like, they don't usually do a thing without us being able to... There was a ladder in the center. Oh, alright. I did not need to parkour. It's fine. We're already up here, so... Okay, it looks like there's... like, edges. So, like, you can see a line like right here, right? You see this? So I'm wondering if there's... Which one is this? Leo. Okay. Hey, D-Man. How you doing? Oh! Looked over at chat and fell off. That's fine. We'll just get back up there. Yeet. Yeet. There's some snow yesterday. Did not get as worse as they believed it would. Nice. Yeah. The storm that we were supposed to have, I think, went further north than they expected it to. So our storm turned out to be not so bad. It is still very cold all of this week for where I live, but the storm itself did not seem to, other than causing a lot of ice, which is very, very dangerous, obviously. Not something looking forward to having people drive around in. So I wonder if this wall is as segmented as it looks. Okay. So this should pop. Yes, okay. So these little dividers do mark the ceiling. Good to know. I was hoping that was the case, but you never know. Sometimes the games can be weird. Alright, so if this is Taurus, does that mean the next one's Aries? Oh yeah, this is definitely Aries. Yep. Aries just looks like a little hook. Aries is represented by the ram. I think it's supposed to be like a ram head, so like this is the horn, right? So like if you picture like a head, like an eye here, so like right, so this is the ram's eye, right? This would be the nose. That's the horn. That's supposed to be. That's why Aries looks like that. I believe that's that's why I'm like it looks like it's just a hook, but it's supposed to be like I think the horn. So that's why Aries looks like that. So. Pisces. I don't remember. Is Pisces the crab? Again, I don't remember a lot of the constellations. I'm not really well versed in that. I remember if Pisces is the crab or if that's something else. I think I always think Pisces is the crab because the word looks close to pincer. But it might not be. No, I think Cancer is the... No? Maybe I'm getting confused again. No, Cancer's not the crab, is it? I don't know. I think that's what I used to think, is like Cancer was the crab, but... I don't know, I could look it up. Let's look it up. Let's learn something today. Crab constellation. It is Cancer. Cancer is the crab. Okay. So I had them backwards. So when I gave it half a thought, I corrected myself. Cancer is the crab. Aquarius. Wait. Is Pisces the fish then? Or is Aquarius the fish? Like I said, I don't know. I'm not well versed in these things. I know a few of them, but... Capricornus. Interesting. He doesn't call it Capricorn, he calls it Capricornus. I guess that would be the name of the constellation, not the astrology, because usually they are named something with like a US at the end, or at least with an S at the end, because you have like Aries and Taurus and Aquarius. I guess there's technically Cancer. Is the Cancer constellation actually called that, though? I guess we'll find out when we get to it. It's going to be one of these. Sagittarius. Right. Get another. Okay. Looks like, are we almost done with this part? We are. We just got this little batch of stuff here. They're actually pretty kind about these poles cleaning. Maybe Sagittarius is the fish, I don't know. Feel free to chime in if you know any of these constellation symbols. I am, like I said, not very well versed. Ophius? Don't know what that one is. Yeah, it's like Ophius. Ophios. Ophichus? Interesting. Now that's a scorpion. I know that one's a scorpion. So. What is Ophiuchus? I'll look that one up. That one I'm actually interested in. Ophiuchus. Serpent bearer. Huh. Oh, I fell off again. Saw it coming too, because I was like, we're a little far back, and then just boop, fell right off. Scorpius. Obviously Scorpio. That one's a little obvious. A little on the nose, if it were, as it were. Libra. The scales. That one I know too. Okay. Well, looks like we got these last two. Constellations to finish up. Leo the lion. And Virgo, I do not remember. Dome ceiling. Alright. Hey, welcome in, Library Fairy and Raiders. Hopefully you're doing well today. What are you all up to? Library Fairy. Playing some... Oh, Alien Isolation. Yeah, I saw it earlier. How are you liking that? I'm guessing it's a first playthrough? How you doing with Library Fairy and Raiders? Hopefully you had a good time over there with some Alien Isolation. Don't know who I am. I'm Master Games. Play a variety of games here on the channel, mostly horror, mostly retro. We just finished our playthrough of Pokemon Snap. It only took a couple hours, so we are chilling out with some PowerWash Sim 2. Thank you so much for the raid. If you need a raid and run for any reason, get you some food, get you some water, or go take a nap, I completely understand. Just throw us a follow, come back when you can. We'd love to have you. Obviously, not obviously, whenever a raid comes in, I like to ask what's your favorite horror game, what's your favorite retro game, and if you have one, what's your favorite retro horror game. Feel free to drop that in chat. Otherwise, feel free to keep lurking with us and hanging out. But welcome in, everybody. Welcome in Witch of the Bog. Welcome in Jenna's Online. Welcome in Reclaimer. Game Over version 1. Kumquat, what a name. Bird Beach, Library Fairy. Welcome in. Let's see. Books are overdue, so the fairy's coming for you. If my books are overdue, it's going to be for decades. I will owe so much money. How's it going? First playthrough, nice. Stretching you out so we came over for some chilled power washing. Well, I appreciate it. Yes, we are currently actually washing. Let me switch back over here. Big horror baby, so I don't play them, but I had a great time with Dead Space. Nice. Yeah, we are currently watching a solar system exhibit, so a little bit of science. How retro do we consider retro? I personally consider anything PS3 era previous as retro. So favorite retro horror is Resident Evil Remaster. Yeah. Okay. OG has a lot of fun. Voice acting remaster has your heart. Nice. Yeah. So we just got done washing the constellations. We're about to wash this ring here, and then we're going to get down there and we're going to wash the rest of this place. So, but again, thank you so much for the raid. And again, if you need to raid and run for any reason, do take care of yourself. We'd love to have you, but your health does come first. So... But welcome in, everybody. And of course, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. And if you're not already following Library Fairy, make sure you give them a follow. Another member of the Crypt Stream team. I do appreciate the raid. We do play, I promise, we do play horror and retro games. You just caught us right after we finished, like I said, a retro game. We just finished Pokemon Snap. We didn't play the N64 version. Unfortunately, my cartridge has died. It would not let us. It would not let us save. So I had to play the Switch emulated version. But I do have a cartridge, and we tried to play it. It just died, unfortunately. But we also do play horror games regularly as well. So if that is your jam, like I said, feel free to throw us a follow. We do stream twice a day, actually. So the other game we are playing, our afternoons, if you like chill games, our afternoons are currently being taken up by Animal Crossing New Horizons. We started a new island, so we are playing some Animal Crossing. So if you like chill stuff, or if you like Animal Crossing, there you go. That is what our afternoons are currently being taken up by, and our evenings are a rotation of horror games and retro games. So tomorrow night we will be continuing what I have dubbed the Vincent Lade Showcase. Vincent Lade is an indie horror dev. We have played through all but 2 of their released games, so we'll be continuing that tomorrow night with Witching Hour. So if you want to check that out as well, that's what we'll be doing tomorrow night. And the following following retro stream will be a continuation of our series called Friends Favorite Retro. We're going to be spinning the wheel and picking another from that list. So if you're into retro games, we have a ton of that, and we do play retro horror games quite often as well. PS3, Resistance Fall of Man generally, Persona 4, like that. Oh, I meant like PS3 and before. You can go before PS3. It's just that's where, for me, where retro starts, is if you go PS3 era to before that. You can go all the way back to Atari 2600 if you want. That's where I usually start the era of retro to accommodate as many people as possible. Some people say it starts at like PS2 era. Some people are like it's PS1 era. I say it's 2 generations usually. From whatever the current generation. So whenever the PS, 6 comes out, PS3 just makes think of Resistance, yeah. I do believe I have. Let's see. There it is right there. That would be the game of which you speak. Resistance. Fall of Man. And the other game of which you speak. Persona 4. But, yeah. Like I said, we play a lot of retro games on the channel. So, if that is your jam, or if you've not seen a lot of retro games and you'd be interested in retro games, definitely worth a sticking around. There are a lot of really cool retro games that maybe you've not heard of. I know a lot of people have played the classics, your Silent Hills, your Resident Evils, but we play some of the stuff that you might not have heard of, like Countdown Vampires, or Vampire Hunter D, or Overblood. And if you're looking at me weird, like, what are you talking about? Maybe you should stick around. Because we get into some crazy ones. Or the Clock Tower series, which you might have heard about. But there are a bunch of games in that series. In fact, I think there are 5 games in that series. Pretty sure it's 5. Let's see. Clock Tower 1, Clock Tower 2, Clock Tower PS1, Clock Tower... Oh, it's 4. There's 4 games in that series. I was counting Night Cry, which is technically a spiritual successor to Clock Tower. It's not an official Clock Tower game. Which is certainly a game that exists. But again, I do appreciate the raid. Are good things about Clock Tower? Yeah. Well, if you haven't played it, the original Clock Tower, which was Japan only, does have an American port now. There's on Steam. There's a game called Clock Tower Rewind. It is an official port of the original Super Nintendo, the Super Famicom, is what it was called in Japan. So you can now play that, and I do recommend it. It's actually not a very long game because again, it is a Super Nintendo game essentially, but it is technically survival horror that predates Resident Evil by a year. So technically, there was survival horror before Resident Evil. I do like to bring that up, but and there is a survival horror that predates that by a year, which is Alone in the Dark. But it is on Steam. It's called, again, Clock Tower Rewind. If you've not checked it out, I do recommend it. It's very interesting. Has a different way of doing health. Also has a really cool story and everything. But unfortunately, the other Clock Tower games are console locked, so if you're looking to do those games, you'll have to look into some form of emulation. Or if you have quite a bit of disposable income, you can get physical versions. I will forewarn you, though, the physical the physical discs for the Clock Tower series are very expensive. So I would not really recommend that route unless you are ready to just throw bundles of cash at physical media. Okay. Wanted to get the top of the sun before we jump down from here, so that way we didn't have to come back up here and get it. I guess we couldn't technically just use the ladder, but original Resident. Now, have you played all of the Resident Evil's Library Fairy, or have you just played like the first few? And also, are you excited or anticipating playing the Resident Evil Requiem /9? What are your feelings on that? I'm interested. Okay, can we... Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about going up this thing. That's interesting. I just realized there was a side of... Can we get the side of this from up here? It's going to be kind of difficult to do this. Okay, we might have to do this from the ground, I think. Doing this like this is going to be kind of a pain. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to do it like this. New job is available. A train car. Play many of them. You played 0 through 8 with the exception of 5. I like to play some of the other ones like Revelations, Code Veronica, Outbreak. But there's just so many games to play in so little time. Yes! Yes, that's exactly why I stream twice a day. Because there's just too much to play. I'm very excited to recommend one of your stream friends got invited by Capcom. That's really cool. Very cool. It's always nice to see when our friends get to do cool stuff. We'd love to see it. Very, very cool. I played many of them. We have played OG 1 through 8. We have played remakes of 2, 3, and 4, and we have played Code Veronica X on the GameCube. So I have not played 0, I have not played the remake of 1, and I have not played most of the spin-offs. So no Revelations, no Dead Aim, no Survivor, stuff like that. So... But a good bit of them. A good bit of them. We did it for charity. I was last year St. Jude. We basically did Resident Evil for charity. The more money we raise, the more Resident Evil we unlock. So we spent most of last year playing Resident Evil. I'm more of a Silent Hill fan myself, but for charity, I will definitely play Resident Evil. Zero's a fun one. Yeah, we might eventually go back and do the ones we haven't done, like Survivor, Dead Aim, Zero, and the remake of 1. But as it stands right now, we have quite a backlog of games, plus all the new stuff that's coming out. So we will definitely put those on the list. It says underside. That's what I was afraid of. This does count as the outside. How am I going to get these? What's your favorite Silent Hill? That would be 3. Need to watch Silent Hill playthroughs? Well, if you're interested, we have a playthrough of all good endings of the Silent Hill series over on our YouTube. The link to YouTube should be at the top of chat, and for some reason it's disappeared. All the links are down below. That does also include the newest Silent Hill. We have done the basic ending and the good ending of the newest Silent Hill F, if you're interested in that. But yes, 3 is my favorite. Followed by the controversial Shattered Memories. That's my second favorite. And surprising some people, Silent Hill F has climbed to my number 3 spot. So I really, really liked Silent Hill F. I was fixated on the movie as a kid, never got around to playing them myself because fixed cameras. I can understand that. A lot of people are not a fan of the tank controls and fixed cameras. It's why a lot of people have not played Resident Evil as well. I personally love those old games, so not really a problem for me. Deep Cut, yes. I have a physical copy of basically every game except the play novels and Book of Memories. I don't tend to get physical copies of games that I play, so that's why I never really got Book of Memories and stuff. I don't collect for the sake of collecting. I collect for the sake of playing games, and since I don't really have a way to play the Book of Memories and stuff, I don't really anticipate getting a copy of that. So, alright. I guess let's clean off the sun here. Alright, it's not a per atmosphere in orbit. Yeah, that's actually kind of where I'm at with it as well. I'm actually of the mind, as of late, that I don't really like comparing Silent Hill and Resident Evil. I feel like they kind of cater to 2 different kinds of audiences. And although they fit in the same genre, which is survival horror, I definitely do not feel like they are of the same mind. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at. Is Resident Evil is definitely action horror, and it sells that experience very well. And Silent Hill is psychological horror, which it sells that experience very well. However, those experiences are drastically different. One is very slow burn, methodical, tension heavy. The other is, let me shoot a rocket launcher at a giant slug, giant monster. Now, don't get me wrong, Silent Hill has its very silly moments. UFO endings, laser swords, princess power. Yes, that is a thing. It can be silly too. But most of that is hidden behind like multiple playthroughs. It's never really handed to you at the beginning. So yes, yeah, again, Silent Hill 3 is my favorite, so I could not get away without referencing the Heather beam or the Princess beam when it gets upgraded. Not the only survival horror game with magical girl powers, surprisingly. Clock Tower 3. But that's a if you know, you know. But that was the only one I found really scary of the RE games. Yeah, I think it's because it leaned more into the tension, but it still has like very heavy action sequences. The later you get, still not very heavy on the psychological. Found you on the home page. Really? Homepage of what? Of Twitch? Am I on the front page of Twitch? Please don't tell me I'm on the front page of Twitch. Twitch, take me off the front page. God save us. I'm on the front page of Twitch. I will forever be cursed. Welcome in, Maru. No, Marie. Marie, sorry. I read the I wrong. Hopefully you're doing well today. But, Super Mario Sunshine to PowerWash Sim Pipeline is real. Now that you say that, I could see it. I could definitely see it. Although I will say I've never played Super Mario Sunshine. Alright, satellite complete. Let's clean off. What is this? Mercury? Looks small enough. Yeah, it's Mercury. Welcome in. Hopefully you're doing well today. Is your favorite mine? I actually didn't play a lot of platformers. Platformers are really not my forte. Not that there's anything against the games or that genre. It's just I've never really been a platformer kind of person. I was more like, I played Banjo-Kazooie. I like collectathons, which there weren't a lot of growing up, but yeah, I never really played a lot of the Mario games, to be honest. I played like the OG Marios, and then got up to like the Super Nintendo ones, and then that's kind of where it was. That's kind of where I stopped. I didn't really play any of the Wii U ones, the Wii ones, No, I take that back. I did play 64. I do have 64. I did play and beat 64. That's probably where I stopped. But I did not play the GameCube ones or anything like that, so I was mistaken. I did definitely play baseball and soccer spin-off games were fun. Oh, yeah. Like don't get me wrong, I played like the Mario Party and stuff, but I was talking about like the platformers specifically. Yeah, no, Mario Party, the Mario Tennis, like those like really very much those the only sports games I played as a kid because I did not like normal sports games, but. But yeah, no. Mario Tennis, soccer, those kinds of stuff, those were fun, yeah. Absolutely. Hello? Can you please clean off Neptune? Thank you. Alright. We're saving the floor for last, so what we're going to do is we're going to do all of the planets, we'll do the middle part, and then we'll do the floor. By the way, for future reference, this is Uranus. You hear me? Uranus. I know it's not much better, but that's how it's pronounced. But yeah, no, I'm all right. Like, I used to think I was really bad at platformers, and then I played platforming games, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not terrible. I'm not the best on them by any stretch of the imagination, but like, I'm not terrible at them. I just don't really like prefer to play them that much. They're just not my like go-to. Like, I'll do platforming as like a aside for other stuff. Like, I love like Metroidvanias, and Metroidvanias tend to have some platforming in them, but like it's usually like as a part of doing like Metroidvania stuff. It's never really like the focus. Like, some of my favorite games are like the Blasphemous games, and the Blasphemous games have like platforming in them, but it's not the focus. It's just a part of playing Blasphemous, which, by the way, if you've not played Blasphemous, those games are absolutely amazing. Some of my favorite Metroidvanias. It is the games that I describe as grotesquely beautiful. And I don't use that terminology often. If you've played Blasphemous, you understand. Because, man, those games. But yeah, I really enjoy those games, but they have some platforming. Also, I enjoyed Hollow Knight, the original Hollow Knight. We tried Silk Song. I couldn't get into it. I don't think I was the target demographic for that game, unfortunately. So we kind of dropped off of that game. But the first Hollow Knight I did enjoy, and that had definitely a lot more platforming in it than some other more Metroidvanias. And then trying to think of like the hardest platformer I've played. Can't really think of it right now, but we've definitely played a few pretty difficult platformers. So I have some experience, but again, just not my cup of tea. I will say one genre that was kind of my thing for a while, but just kind of like lost its, I guess, meaning almost. At this point is like Souls-likes. I used to really love like the Souls-like genre, and I still do to some degree, but man, like everybody's trying to like use that formula now, and it's just become so like overdone to the point where like that feels like that phrase is almost meaningless. And thank you for the hydrate. And it's kind of sad because there's some really good Souls-likes out there. How's it going? Pretty good. We are now cleaning the planets. We've got everything but this like under roof, the planets, and then the central thing. So we just got a raid from the awesome library fairy and their awesome community. So we're hanging out with them right now. Did I finish cleaning Uranus? Yes, Uranus has been cleaned. It's right there. We are currently cleaning Jupiter. Yes, Uranus has never been cleaner. It's actually very bright. That is like a very saturated blue. It is practically glowing. It might actually be glowing, honestly. It's very, very blue. It might actually be glowing. I'm not playing your silly game. I know what you're doing. But yeah, Souls-likes is unfortunately kind of like gone all over the place, man. It's so disheartening because like we played like that Liza P DLC, which was very, very difficult. But it was still really good. And I wish we could... Can we use the ladder on Jupiter? We can't. We could possibly do this, though. Can I? I can. Good to bed, got blood work, MRI. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully it goes well. Take it easy, have a good one. Thank you, Void. Hopefully you get some good rest. Gotta check out your spleen. Not the spleen. Alright. Like I said, have a good one. Rest well. But it's interesting because when we were playing a Souls-like the Wu Chang game, and a lot of people made the joke that it was like gonna be just like this kind of like not serious like cash-in kind of game, and I actually really liked Wu Chang. I think it actually did a really good job. Like they had like one thing that they had to like concede because of like political pressure. Apparently there were some characters that were like descendants of like the group in the game, so they had to like make it to where the characters surrendered and didn't like die in the game, and like people were upset that they did that, and I was like, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, to be honest. It doesn't really change a whole lot. but yeah, Wu Chang was actually a really solid Souls-like. I'm gonna clean Earth last. Because I want to. I also realize we need to clean this underside here. But yeah, if you have not checked out Wu Chang, I can recommend it. I can recommend it if you like Souls likes. It might not look like much, but or might not look like something you would take serious, but it's actually pretty good. Pretty well designed and pretty cool. Good story, good lore. So really enjoyed my time with Wu Chang Fallen Feathers is the full name of the game. Souls-like. Trying to think of the last platformer I played. Can't think of the last, like... Oh, actually I can. We did it for Ren's Favorite Retro. We did Rayman 2 on the N64. That was the last platformer I played. Which, honestly, the game itself was alright until we got to the end. Because my biggest gripe with Rayman 2 was it's a platforming game where the final boss features 0 platforming. And I was like, that has gotta be, like, the biggest faux pas in a game. Is like, we've given you all these platforming skills. Final boss, not gonna use any of that. You're gonna ride a rocket through a volcano multiple times. It's like, well, that's disappointing. So, you know. But it was one of those things that I think they went for, like the like action factor versus the like using the game's mechanics factor kind of thing. You know, they wanted the scene to be cool instead of make sense from a mechanical standpoint. Like, why would you not use, you know, make a platforming boss be the final boss instead of, you know, an action sequence? But and it was a very difficult final boss, even not being a platforming boss. So alright, Saturn's done. We're gonna do Earth. Then we'll do the center. Then we'll do this roof that I forgot about. We need to double check that we got all these platforms. So I don't know if I got all the platforms up. We gotta, don't forget the moon. Wait, the moon spins? That's kind of cool. Yeah, some kid took a bite out of the moon. Hold on, is there actually a bite out of the moon? Thought it was white chocolate. It shouldn't be spinning like that either. Hold on, is there actually a bite out of the moon? I'm not seeing a bite out of the moon. That would have been funny if you could actually see like a bite out of the moon. Kind of disappointed now. Earth's moon arm. What that said. Okay, now we're gonna have to get up here. Earth. Earth display. Alright. Let's double check all these platforms. I think I got all of them, but... Good, okay. Looks good. Let's see. Nope, I missed. What? Well, how did I miss that? Saying I missed that thing down there. Unless it's talking about this. Sun pestle. Milky Way floor trim. Huh? These don't unless authorized. Very confused as to what it says we almost have. I don't know. Let's clean off this glass. That's very strange. Usually when it says we almost have something, it like makes it very obvious where that thing is, but... Oh, wait, is it talking about this? Oh, okay. That's why it's in the center there. I was cleaning this as we were going around because I thought it might be something. Turns out I was correct. It is indeed something. Just gotta figure out where the dirt on it is. Okay, we circled the room. Oh, it's... Oh, that's gonna suck. It's got an indention. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's finish going around this. Guess we can do kind of a... Pick this up, put it down here. Oh, does this also have an indentation? Oh, that's unfortunate. Wherever there's indentions, it's very easy for the grime to hide. Which makes sense, because that's exactly what happens in real life. but we have to go back through and clean it up. A little bit better when it does that. Because otherwise it doesn't count. Alright. We're starting to get the central glass dome finished. Okay, that's done. Terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Like I said, we'll clean the central platform here. Oh, is this gonna have... Okay, no, the indentation is not... Hold on. Okay, it looks like there might be an indentation, but... Between the central platform, then the roof, then the floor. Central wall plaque. So let's stand on this side and see. Okay, it doesn't look like there actually is any indentation there. A black hole. We have the photon sphere, the Doppler beaming, the event horizon shadow, and the disk. So we get to learn something from this exhibit, which is good. We like learning things here. Just gonna wash that on up. Wash it on up. What does this say? Something of stars. Types of stars. Ooh. Looks like we got... What was that? 7? Neutron star. Main sequence. Giant. Supergiant. Yellow dwarf. White dwarf. Brown dwarf. It's very interesting. Did not realize that there were so many types of stars. I knew about the neutron, giant, supergiant, and the yellow and white dwarfs. I did not know about the main sequence. I've never heard of a main sequence star or a brown dwarf. Okay, looks like the central floor trim might actually be something. Okay, we got another plaque here. Let's see what this one says. Okay, this just seems like it's like a advertisement for a spaceship. Exostellaris. Oh no, this is the advertisement for the company. Got it. Exostellaris Industries. Okay, gnome friend, you can hang out right there. Okay. Looks like it says ice giant planets, which should be what? Neptune and Saturn? Right? Uranus. Ah. Vestifia formed into a moon. Okay. Let's see. Then we have a little bit of something else here. What is this? Gas giants. Ah, yes, Jupiter. Oh, Saturn. Wait, Saturn's a gas giant? Huh. I guess so. I guess that does make sense. It's been a long time since I've had a science class, I'll tell you that much. Well, I guess a science class that was about I guess space. Had other science classes, but not about space. Had computer science classes and stuff. Those are science and math-based science classes, but not about space. What's this going to tell us? Oh, is this one going to tell us about Earth? This one's going to tell us about Earth, which I guess is right here. It's like, I think we're standing next to it. So, that makes sense. The inner core, the outer core. Jason! Jason! Anyways. Too bad Jason's not here. He'd find out that Jason is, in fact, a part of the Earth. Jason is... We found Jason, guys. We found him. He's in the Earth. Jason is forever a part of the Earth. Hey, J-Pow. How you doing today? By the way, for the people that don't get that, that is a Heavy Rain reference. Not that, but the Jason. It's a Heavy Rain reference. Neptune sign. Oh, we didn't clean off the Neptune sign. I guess we missed, like, the side of it or something. Why is this place so dirty? Because we have to clean it. It's our job to make it less dirty. If it was clean, then we wouldn't need to clean it. Okay. But, as to how it got so dirty, no idea. They never really tell us, to be honest. Some places do. Actually, I take that back. Some places do. But as far as I know, there you go. Kids with sticky hands. Kids with sticky hands made this place this dirty, apparently. I don't know how they got on the roof, but apparently don't give your kids chocolate and then send them to a space exhibit, because apparently they'll climb on the roof. That should be a warning to us all. Children plus chocolate equal The Exorcist, I guess. Literally just climbing up the walls. Can you imagine? Just like, you're like running a solar exhibit and just like you walk in here and there's just like kids clambering up the walls. And you're just like, you know what, man? I don't get paid enough for this. And you just let them do it, and then like you close the exhibit, like just call the PowerWash person, they'll clean it up. You know what? Mood. Honestly. Mood. I would do the same thing. I'd be like, you know what, man? I don't get paid enough for this. This is someone else's problem. You chaperone kids' field trips, I believe it. Yeah. You know, I've been around adults enough where, like, you know, given half a chance, there's some adults that probably do that. Like, it's just like, you know what? No regrets, and they would just climb the walls. Like, people are strange. People are strange. Ever play this? Do you have different sprayers, or do you upgrade your equipment? Both. Both. So we have, this is the second basic sprayer, so this is what it does normally. No, not that. You have this mode, like, you have different modes, right? And it's kind of okay, right? If you use soap, it guarantees that it comes off, essentially. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to soap stuff up like this. You only have a limited amount of soap, and then you go through and you clean it like this, right? You can also get this thing, which is kind of like a buffer, and you can use this on like flat surfaces to like clean, right? Sometimes it leaves stuff behind if you go too fast. But we're using the Pro with the triple blast, which basically means that we don't have to use any of that stuff. But it took us forever to get this point, so we've saved up enough money to just use this. So yeah, you get upgrades, you get stronger equipment. You can even change how your character looks. You can change your trucks. There's cosmetics and stuff. You can change your place. Never cross the streams. Well, too late for that. Also, hello, Oni Densetsu. It's been a while. I haven't tripped over your name in many a months. How you doing? Hopefully you've been well. Feels like it's been a long time since I've seen you, honestly. Which is fine. It's a breezy world out there. Hopefully you've been well. Looks like your channel blew up since. Nope. We just had a very kind raid from a member of our stream team who decided to bring their very kind community over with them. And they're joining us for a very chill stream after their very tense run-in with one xenomorph from Alien Isolation. And we're hanging out and watching a solar display. What do they call this thing? Solar system exhibit? Solar system exhibit. So. Doop, doop. Doop, doop, doop. Alright. Yeah, all we got left is this, the rest of the ceiling, and then the floor, and then we're good to go on this. Sorry, I keep checking my other screen. Because we had a problem the other day. I guess it's not the other day anymore. It was like a month ago at this point. But OBS, for some reason, stopped our Twitch stream, but kept our YouTube stream going. We're not currently streaming to YouTube. I ended that early after we finished Pokemon Snap. But for some reason, it just it ended the stream kind of like halfway, and I'm not sure why. It's very strange. So if you ever see me like glance over and like open something, that's basically what I'm doing. Is I'm I'm just double checking to making sure like our captions are still going and any like things I have are still running properly. So I just have to check. I get very conscious about that stuff because, unfortunately, when tech things can be outside of your control, but sometimes you can fix them if you know about them. So you You just gotta know about them first, right? So you just gotta check. So that's all I do. Which is, I know, probably a little weird, because we'd be like, why do you keep looking in the wrong direction? Because I want to. That's why. Anyways. Which, I guess, if I'm looking... I guess, to you guys, I'm looking at the game. But to me, like, the game is here. So when I look this way, I'm actually looking at a different screen. Because I have... Where my camera is, where you guys are, is where my chat is, right? So when I look at chat and stuff, it's to my right, where a different monitor is, because I have 3 monitors. I've got a monitor to my left. That's where I have my stream like stuff for like the page, the captions, anything else I need. Then I've got my game on my central monitor, which is where it looks like I'm looking most of the time. And then I have my camera set up here with my other monitor. So it's just nice way to keep everything organized. But I guess whenever I look over there, it looks like I'm looking at the game. I guess I try to do that in most cases. The only game there's only a few games where I change that. I have to do that for Path of Exile. I have to put myself in the middle because Path of Exile has stuff on the right and left, so I have to put myself in the middle so I'm not blocking stuff, otherwise it's like, I can't see anything. By the way, if you're wondering how I was spraying without my hands, if you right-click... Here, I'll show you. If you right-click, it just keeps spraying for you, so you don't have to hold the button down. Otherwise you have to hold the click down, but if you just right-click, it just keeps spraying for you. Very helpful feature. So, anyways. So people don't think I'm not playing my own game. I don't want people all of a sudden trying to be like, oh, you don't play your game. Game's playing itself. Fake streamer. Fake gamer. I would never understand that. Like, what would be the point of, like, I guess free money, but, like, I don't understand. Like, why would you ever want to, like, stream and not play games? Just like, yeah, I'm just gonna pull up someone else's videos and just like let that play and act like I'm playing games. It's like, that just seems so unfun to me. What if I'm an AI streamer? Oh god, don't get me started on that. Like, people, I saw that the other day. People were like, oh, we're so done for. AI streamers are gonna take over. I'm like, okay, if they're gonna take over, like, then I don't really understand what people think streaming is, right? Because, like, if you think personality comes out of a can, then sure, AI streamers are gonna take over. But, like, it's literally not going to be anything. Like, there's going to be people that are, sure, going to be deceived into thinking they're watching a certain person or group of people. Why does it look like this? Oh, those are asteroids. I thought these were holes in the floor. I'm like, why does it look like that? It's the asteroid belt. Because, like, the solar system. Sorry, I got distracted. But it's just like, if it's just like a bot writing a script for a bot, like, that it just repeats with like a voice or whatever, and it's just like, eventually people are not, like, you're gonna have like thousands or hundreds of those channels or whatever. People are just gonna be like, yeah, this ain't it, man. Like, sure, people will probably tune into some of that, but like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just completely wrong, and that's just going to be what streaming becomes. At that point, I will still be doing this for my whole 5 people that want to watch. Come watch me stream like it's, 2010. Still playing games from 1990. People are gonna be like, why do you do this? Nobody wants to watch this. I don't care. X307 over here has 10 million views. Why who would watch your 3 viewers stream? Those 3 viewers? That's who. That's who's going to watch my stream. Those 3 people. That's all I care about. You can have your 7 million bots. I ain't here for those 7 million bots, bruh. I'm here for those 3 viewers. You do what you gonna do. I'm here for all the lovely people at home that want to hang out with us and watch me play Pokemon Snap from 1999. Or PowerWash Sim from 2025. You go watch your bots play whatever. But yeah, like I said, I saw that the other day. I'm like, we are not cooked, man. You guys really think the world's gonna end over some AI streamers? It is not. The streaming world is not going to end because of AI streamers. It's honestly the streaming world is going to end because of terrible management. That's what's going to end the streaming world. People don't know how to run business. It's going to drive all these streaming platforms under, and there's not going to be anywhere to stream. That's what's going to end up happening. Like, that's what sucks. Got a whole bunch of incompetent people going, oh, we should probably, deal with all these problems and fix our hardware software issues, and nah, don't worry about that. Just keep trying to funnel as much money out of the company as possible until the thing explodes. It'll take care of itself, right? No. No, it won't. Lord have mercy. But nah, I'm not. I don't think these AI streamer things are really anything to worry about. Honestly, the thing that's most terrifying about the whole AI streamer thing is just what's going to happen with when the AI thing bubble bursts, and how it's going to absolutely cripple the economy. It needs to burst so we can get past all of this garbage that people have been trying to create with it, but it's going to absolutely destroy the economy because the whole tech sector is being propped up by it, because they think it's the future when it's not even doing anything. Now, that's not to say machine learning is not useful. Machine learning is exceptionally useful. But generative AI crap is not what it needs to be used for. Problem is people barely know what AI is. I've seen people arguing on Twitter being like, well, AI is what makes enemies work in video games, so how can you get rid of that? And I'm like, oh my god. Thank you, Francis, from the land of I've never opened a book about technology. before. I wish I was kidding. That's a legitimate example. I'm not making that up. People have legitimately said that online. I wish I was joking. It's very sad. Because again, because they use the buzzword AI, people think that all AI is connected. And it's not. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the generative stuff. The stuff that they're using to try to replace artists and musicians and, you know, that stuff. We're not talking about the programmable behavior of an enemy in a video game. That is a whole different kind of AI. It is still artificial intelligence. That is correct. That is the right terminology. That person is not incorrect in using that term that way. That is just not what they're talking about. Those are two drastically different things. They're being, once again, they're being deceived into thinking that those two things are connected. But they unfortunately start attacking the wrong person when having that conversation. Because they think the person against generative AI is trying to take the enemies out of their video game, not trying to save an artist's career, you know, or trying to save the environment. I feel like I made a what? I don't even know what that is. Is that an enemy? Don't get me wrong. I've played the Resident Evil games. I just don't know. There's a maid in Resident Evil. I don't remember there being a maid in Resident Evil. We used to say the maids came and cleaned up the bodies because didn't get as far as I thought. Oh. No, I can honestly say I've never heard that in my 5 years of streaming and my many years as a gamer. I've never heard the term Mary Maid cleaning up the bodies. There is actually a game called Crime Scene Cleaner where you legitimately clean up the bodies. Kind of like this. You actually clean up the scenes of crimes. We played that. We did a playthrough of that. Although I think they added new content recently. I don't think we'll go back and play that, unfortunately. But yeah, there is a game. An elf game with Santa like this? Ah, interesting. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a lot of cleaning games. I've talked about it before. I think the reason why a lot of these games actually are get some level of popularity is not because like people killed all the elves. You gotta clean up the body. Oh, you're talking about that visceral viscera cleanup crew or whatever. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's it, Viscera. Yeah, it's like Viscera cleanup crew or whatever. Yeah, I've seen that game. But it's funny because like there's a lot of simulation games that are like, hey, do this task that you like can do as a job, and like I've seen people have like pushback. It's like, oh, people would rather play a game about a job than actually do the job, and it's like, I think the reason why mentally like people do these kinds of things, and I don't play a lot of simulator jobs. I actually just picked this up because we needed a game that we could like pick up and play, right? whenever we finished something else early. And I was talking about it before. I think the reason why these kinds of games pop up is because in a job, there's a lot of pressure from like everything around to do the job like correctly and quickly and efficiently, and right, there's a lot of pressure. But when you play these games, that pressure doesn't exist because you can do this, right? I can just stop. I can talk. No one can fire me. No one can dock my pay. I could just say, screw it, I'm done. I could walk off. I can go to sleep. I can do whatever the heck I want. I could say, forget this job, go work another job, come back and finish this job up, right? Whatever I wanted to do, right? And you could do that with most simulator games, right? You can't do that with a real job. And I think that, like, that stop of that pressure is why a lot of simulator jobs or simulator games are so popular, is because people don't mind doing work. They just don't like doing work under pressure, right? Most people don't like doing anything under pressure, let alone work, right? So when you get these simulator games, it's like, yeah, I don't mind cleaning. I don't mind doing dishes. I don't mind, picking up trash, whatever it might be. I don't mind doing this, like gardening or farming or whatever. Also, it simplifies the task. Like, obviously, doing this kind of, like, manual labor for, like, 4 hours or whatever is very taxing. Like, I couldn't physically do this because of my like, physical health would not allow me to stand. I can't stand longer than, like, 5 minutes, let alone for, like, 4 hours doing this kind of power washing, right? So, like, I couldn't physically do this job even if I wanted to. But, so there's also that. But like, without those pressures, you can just, do it more at your pace, and you can just get the jobs done without as much pressure, or any pressure. And I think that just leads to a much more relaxing experience. Now, of course, people are like, well, a job shouldn't be relaxing. It's like, why not? Who told you that? Right? Who told you a job can't be relaxing? Who told you a job has to be pressure? Right? Don't like having a boss. Bosses aren't good. This time is fine. Well, that's the thing. It's like, you don't have to, like, the idea of a bad boss is also something that we're sold. It's like, oh, your boss can't be your friend. Why not? I mean, there's psychological reasons why not. You're someone in a power structure can't be friends with someone that's not that's below them in a power structure. It causes power struggles. There's psychological reasons why that can't happen. But the same reason why you can't or you shouldn't date in power structures, because then it creates like weird and sometimes dangerous vies for power and stuff like that. But anyways, that aside, it's one of those things that, like, there's nothing wrong with, like, having a boss and doing a job, but we're sold all of these, like, you have to, like, work really hard at a job and it has to be perfect, and you have to be under all this pressure and it has to be stressful, and that's how you know it's a real job. And it's like, why does any of that have to be true? And again, I think that's why simulator games become so popular. Now some of it is because you get to do stuff that you couldn't normally do. Like, I can't run a theme park. I can play a game where I can run a theme park, though. I can't do this crazy power washing thing. Also, you can't use a power washer on electronics. I can do this. I can do this, right? Like, this would destroy this whole electronic thing. I can do that in a video game. Also, cleaning something is as easy as right-clicking. Obviously, it simplifies the process, which is a whole, another thing to to it, right? But yeah, I think that's part of the reason why simulator games are so popular, is because it simplifies a process of work, and then makes you realize that, like, you don't hate doing the job. You're just made to hate doing the job because that's what we're told we're supposed to do with work. You're not supposed to enjoy work. It's supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be annoying. It's supposed to be time consuming. In a lot of cases. Now, there are cases where people realize that that's not supposed to be the case, and they build a community and atmosphere within the workforce where that's not the case, and people love their job, and they're able to do it efficiently and enjoyably. So not all jobs are like that, because again, they made that realization that, oh, well, if the worker's happy, they can do their work efficiently without me having to, like, have someone screaming at them 24/7 and then the job not get done and everyone hates it here, and then they go home to play a simulator game to do exactly what I'm training them to do, but they have more fun with that than actually working for me. So what am I missing? Yes, I know it's the outer ring, but where the dirt at? Oh, it's probably this outer rim. Yep. There we go. Job complete. Good stuff. Here's your satisfying video of us cleaning everything. God, that was messy. Oh yeah, these places start out pretty dirty. Pretty dirty. Basically everything starts covered in dirt. Alright, our next job is a streetcar. So that'll be... only cost the last 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, there's some of these maps that are pretty insane. Basically everything you see here we've cleaned. I mean, you can't... That's not even... like, yeah, there's the roller derby. Let's see, what's another one? The farm... the house. The blimp was an interesting one. There's the motel. The temple, which has a secret room underneath it. Gas station wasn't too bad. I think. Oh, there was the theater. So, yeah. Some of them are pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. But, thank you, friends, for joining us here this evening. Thank you again, Library Fairy and friends, for joining us with that raid. I really do appreciate it. That is where we're going to call it a stream.